Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago, Illinois for this highly anticipated matchup. Chicago House with an early opportunity. Wow, no call there. Looked like there might have been contact. It was tough to see. But an opportunity very early for Chicago House as we welcome you all in to Chicago, Illinois. I'm Jared Kleppel bringing you the game tonight. Detroit Imperial in the dark blue going left to right on your screen, and Chicago House at home once again in the green camo going right to left. Both teams hungry for a win, but both teams in different situations. Chicago House are in the position where they started 0-5 on the year, and when things were looking dire, 2 victories in a row brought them to where they are today. They're looking for 3 straight to stay in playoff contention. A toe poke here, it got through. Emerson Mena let one through early. Chicago House on top at home. It looked to be number 21, Moises Mayanza, who opened up the scoreline for this Chicago House squad. And as a part of their turning around of the season, they're starting this 8th game of the year, which could be their 3rd win in a row, with a goal in the first 90 seconds to put the pressure on Detroit Imperial, who are hungry for a win here for different reasons. As you see right there, 2-5 on the year for Chicago House, a negative 26 goal differential with multiple losses by 10 or more. And that was just part of the picture of what was going on in the beginning of the year. But 2 straight victories for them. And this could be number 3. As Marokin dribbles that one over the sideline. And for Detroit Imperials, they're on the attack here. Escareno able to collect and take care of that one. For Imperials on the way again, and a whistle there going against Chicago House for the first foul of the match. This Detroit Imperial team comes into today at 4-1. 4-1. They've started the year with two games against only 2 teams in the league, and then a big win against Lansing City last week put them in this position to be eyeing the top of the table with a win today. Of course, Ole is up there in the standings. Shoreline City are up there in the standings. And each team has different amount of games played as this one nearly got by, but Escareno shuts the door. Wow, that one didn't miss by much on the friendly fire coming from Amin Unzar. As we mentioned, 4-1 coming in today, but a positive 14 goal differential on those 5 games. Officially halfway through the year, this starts the second half of the season for Detroit, and it's a tough gauntlet, especially when you think about when this game is over, what they have remaining. It's Ole twice, I believe. It's Midwest. They have quite a road ahead of them to end out the year. And they're looking to get back not only to the semifinals like they did last year, as a close one from the left foot of Kevin Rodriguez misses near post, but 2 years ago they were FCS champs. Looking to get back into that form. But down early. Poche will put it in on the near side. And that was 4 seconds called. The Poche can't believe it. I think he was saying that he was asking for space. But the ball will go into possession of Chicago House. Turnover there. Imperial on the attack. Rodriguez shielding off the defender. Solid now, top of the arc. Too easy from him. The toe poke. Finds the near post. Detroit are equal. Take another look at it. Really quite a lot of time that he had in a very dangerous area, and he capitalizes on it. It's something that has been a particular emphasis of struggle for Chicago House as they have a break here. Marokin, this is just wide, and Rafael Hernandez, number 7, not quite getting there to be on the back post of it. But going back to the goal for Detroit Imperial, the time and space that Abdullah Saleh had in that top area, kind of pointing to some defensive trouble. And this has been something that's plagued Chicago House a lot of the year. Some situations kind of like that where some time and space is given to players that you really shouldn't see. It's been something that they have been trying to tighten up all year long. Here they are on the with possession, and Vinni DaSilva will draw a foul. Play restarts quickly. Rafael Hernandez into the corner from Marokin, gets it right back, shielding it off. Can he keep it in play? He does. Takes a strike from a long ways, and it sails over the bar. There's Vinni DaSilva trying to turn on to Poche. He's able to get some space. Had a huge game in the last one. He falls down here. Counter for Detroit. Nescareno takes it to the face, it looks like, to make a save. His 3rd of the night. 4th, actually. Poche waits for this one to come back to him. His ball goes all the way across to Michael Forbes, stepping up into the attack in the goalkeeper uniform. Looks like he retreats to the bench to get Mena back on the floor. Perhaps that's something we're going to see tonight. Forbes coming on as a more attacking goalkeeper, as we see a nice move from Poche, but it's out of his reach. Poche puts into play. Mena's across the halfway line this time, and a save from Nescareno. Detroit still fighting for it in the corner. It belongs to Chicago House. DaSilva puts it in play. He goes long, looking for Rafael Hernandez. Not quite on the same page. I'm sure Chicago are grateful to have him back. He's been out with an injury for a couple of weeks. Surely he's been itching to get back on the floor. See him out there tonight in this 1-1 matchup so far. Turnover to Poche. Goes backwards. Rodriguez on the far side. Looking inside, it's blocked by Daniel Maguion. What does Detroit have in mind here? Poche comes over, plays it right back. He has it at his feet, and now is solid. Back to the Poche. Chicago applying pressure in a man-to-man. Forcing Detroit back. They go to Mena. Mena finds the foot of DePoche across half. Still in possession for Imperial. Showing lots of patience here. Ball into the pivot spot. Rodriguez lays it off for DePoche. Has space. 3 Chicago defenders right around him. Somehow he still has the ball. Silva thought it was last touched by DePoche, but not according to the official. Some great defense there by Chicago House to prevent DePoche from an attacking opportunity. Well, he still ended up with it, almost had a chance. Poche, one of those players that has been so consistent for Imperial all year. He's been one of the core group of guys that went back to when they were Midwest FC, which was before even this here, as a foul was called against Imperial. The Detroit Imperial were formed in the 23-24 season, and that year they were FCS champs. Last year they dropped to Olay in the semifinal. Had a chance to speak with Coach Pierce Brannigan of Detroit Imperial in the third half this past week. He talked about the decisions that they made after last season, some standards being set about players and how many trainings they can make and composure issues they were having. And it definitely made some differences on the players that they rostered this year and were available for games this year. But so far at 4-1, it's paying off. They've had much less of those composure issues that he was talking about than we have seen in the past, as there's an opportunity here, and it's just over the bar, almost nicked the bar, it seemed, from number 8, Amin Unzar. Unzar himself being one of those new additions to Detroit Imperial that is trying to acclimate to the team. Might be a foul. Does look like the referee is pointing in that direction. So Imperial pick up their second. Looks like a fan is trying to get involved and tell the official where he should be pointing to. Silva goes to the pivot spot. DePoche steps up, but he's still at the foot of Chilinski. Finds DaSilva. Mena's out. The body hits the floor in the arc. Didn't quite see what happened there. And Mena quick off his line, as we've seen so much from him. Very intelligent in his positioning, and he's very quick to make that decision when to come out and when not to. And he's been a monster in net for them since appearing on the scene last year. And something off camera here, I'm assuming Fixo and Pivo play. I think the foul is going to go against Chicago House here. Off the ball. Oche tried to be cheeky with it. So we're now at 2 fouls apiece. Now the ball across. Intercepted. Chilinski chasing it down. Mena up off his line, way up there, and has some words for his teammates. Not happy with how the defending was going. You just saw on your screen a moment ago the correction to 3 fouls for Detroit Imperial. So at 5 fouls total, and Vinni DaSilva trying to pick up where he left off last week with a shot here and saved by Mena. DaSilva huge on the stat sheet, 4 goals, 2 assists last week against Midwest United. sending Midwest to 1-3-1 at their own home court as well. Poche into the middle for Abu Shaban. And back to DePoche up top, but it's taken by Chicago House. Here's Jordi Mascara. In some space. The right-hand side for Vinni DaSilva. Yeah, can't quite tell if that was DaSilva or not, but left foot strike nonetheless. Not quite on the mark. This one goes short to Costa Wells. Poche looking comfortable on it, finds Ahmed Abushaban. Poche with the lift in the direction of Wells, still fighting for it. Jacob Chelinski's there. He ends up winning it. Goes back to Escareno, and that's a bad mistake. And it will end up in points the other way. Calmly and cleanly handled by Amin Unzar. He puts Detroit Imperial up by 1. To the mistake from Escareno, the attempt from Chelinski to get back, but perhaps anticipating incorrectly and committing to the slide. And Unzar says, I will kindly put this one in the back of the net. 1 goal advantage for Detroit Imperial halfway through the first half. Poche with a chance and just doesn't quite get connection on the ball there. So Chicago restarts short. Down the line. In the direction of Mascara. Number 33 for Chicago House, Jordi Mascara. One of the players that has been a recent addition. His first game 2 weeks ago against Lansing City. He has been part of what has lifted this team to 2 wins in a row as they look to stay competitive in the FCS, looking ahead to the postseason, which for a team like Detroit Imperial, they're thinking a little bit about maybe, but this is only the beginning of the second half of the year. But for Chicago, this is game number 8 of 10 already. Today's match is sponsored by Ally Marketing. If you're looking for a marketing partner that treats you more like a friend than like a number in their checkbook, check out allymarketing.us, ALLY marketing.us. Ally Marketing is the official marketing partner of the Futsal Champion Series. Ally Marketing, let's be friends. Amin Unzar with a handful of shots and a goal to his name as well as a foul. And this is one of the players that Coach Pierce Brannigan spoke highly of, or I guess I should say I assume it's highly of, because it's one of the players that he mentioned that kind of came to the top of his head when he was talking on the third half about new players being added in and integrating. He was one of those players that immediately came to mind for him. So this is a player I expect to see more and more of out of Detroit. Well, as they squander a transition opportunity there, certainly had numbers. DePoche could have been in on goal. But number 8, Amin Unzar, watch out for him for Imperial both today and as their season progresses. Might become more and more of a force. He has it here now, goes to DePoche. DePoche chooses to try to sky it to the top of the net. Though he had Unzar right back, perhaps that would have been the recommended play. So Chicago restarted short. Hernandez inside. Some space. And they challenge. It's blocked by Wells. Chelinski. Hernandez wants it on the far side. Intercepted in, brought down. Now DePoche at his foot. Goes down the line, just out of the reach of Costa Wells. And those are two players that have been playing together for a long time. We talk about the history of Detroit Imperial. Used to be Midwest. And Costa Wells, along with Davide DePoche, are two of the players that have been a part of that core group. Been playing for years together, and one of the oldest members of the FCS. They've been playing in it almost since its inception. Dula Sala, another one of those players that has been a part of the squad for a long time. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Chicago House, this is their first year in the FCS. They're not new to futsal, but this is their first bout in this league as DePoche has a try at the top of the arc. And it's deflected out for a corner. Wells will take it. DePoche comes over. The count has started. He takes it quick. And now Forbes up the floor. 5 attackers for Imperial. Chicago House working in a defensive zone. Looks like they're in a diamond to counter this 5-attacker look for Imperial as they take the risk. They lose possession. Forbes hustling to get back. And good defensive effort from Imperial to allow their goalkeeper to get to the bench and Mena to come in. I'm sure that's not the last time we'll see Forbes tonight. Already the second time that he's come on the floor for a situation like that. This ball in is stolen by DePoche. Can he finish? He does. To the top, right over the arm of Escareno. And Imperial extend their lead to 2. Take another look. Nice finish from DePoche. It's just a defensive effort. And from the Chicago House side, it's a giveaway. So at this point, you can really credit 2 goals of Imperial to bad giveaways for Chicago House. It's tough to give away goals like that, as goals can be tough to come by. The game of futsal just being so competitive, and as DePoche gives it away there, and he slides to put the ball out of play. Chicago House looking for a way forward. DaSilva finding Hernandez. Hernandez gets by 1. Now at the top, Mascara, it's blocked by Costa Wells. And it's out for a kick in for Detroit Imperial, for Chicago House. Mascara with it at the half line. Little chip in and not on the same page with his pivot. Was number 29, Angel Bracho, who was up in that position. This is the first time these two teams have ever met in or out of the FCS. So new things to get used to. Of course, they've been able to see each other on film, but it's a different story when you're out on the floor playing these guys face to face. So far, Imperial have the 2-goal advantage by the 2 defensive mistakes from Chicago House, and that is the difference so far. Fighting for it is Mascara. Thought he got hit in the face. And is he going to get a call for that? I think he is. And Asala can't believe it. Poche can't believe it. So we take another look at the battle. Looks like we just clipped it a little bit late there. That'll be number 4 against Detroit Imperial. Still have one more in the margin with 5:40 to go. Mascara to Hernandez, and he mishits it. And I know Hernandez is more frustrated probably than anybody by a touch like that. He's a player that has really shown tremendous ability. Be the best player on the Chicago House team, and very dedicated and hardworking player. Of course, he was just on injury in his first game back after a couple of weeks. I think we have yet to see him at his best this year. This one is played in. Well, the ball was off the line. So Imperial takes over and ball goes out of play. Hernandez goes quickly, but official blowing the whistle. Looks like they're going to do it one more time. All the way back to Escareno he goes. Now DaSilva on the far side. Got Hernandez helping him in the back. He goes to the right. All up the line, right back. Mascara to DaSilva. Mascara looking into DaSilva. DaSilva tries to turn, facing trouble, and Imperial are going to pick up foul number 5. Didn't see anything on first glance. Take another look. Looks like the official thought maybe he got him with a little bit of body or push there. Tough to see from this angle, but it will be a foul. I know the screen is telling you something else, but it is indeed a foul. Fortunately, they have not changed any rules recently where fouls can count as goals. With 5 to their name, Imperial could be giving up a good opportunity for a goal. If they give up another foul, and Chicago will have a chance from the 10-meter spot. Of course, Mena, probably the toughest keeper in the league to beat from that spot. A lot of good keepers in the FCS. Emerson Mena certainly playing at a high level this year and always has. Poche goes down, no call. 4 minutes to go in the first. Imperial commit the foul. First I thought they were going to call it against them, but it looks like the signal was against Imperial, and indeed it is foul number 6. Wow. So perhaps it will be a goal. A foul into a goal we'll see here as Vinni DaSilva steps up to try to score his 5th goal across 2 games. But facing him is Emerson Mena, perhaps the best goalie in the business here in the FCS. He does not get beat easily. What does DaSilva have on this try from 10 meters away? Whistle blows. DaSilva steps up. Off the post! Emerson Mena plays the angles just right, and the post to his right helps him out. Actually looked like there was some space for that ball to be a little bit more towards Mena's body. Of course, doing everything he can to cover as much space of the goal. But in this case, it's the post with a save. And Hernandez is still attacking. He's asking the official for another foul. But it will be a corner kick for Chicago House here. All inside. Oh, it came through clean. Marroquin was in the vicinity, but not on top of it. Now here go Detroit Imperial, 3v1. Can they capitalize before halftime? Marroquin gets back. Still in the mix, top of the arc. Jafar Abadawi's there. And Chicago House are able to stand strong and endure that attack that started out as a 3v1. Current shot count, 15 apiece. Both sides getting off some opportunities. Could have been another one right there for Vinni DaSilva, but a step behind the play. With the shot count being even, the only difference, 2 more have hit nylon for Chicago. Or excuse me, for Detroit Imperial. Poche staying with it now. Rodriguez cuts it back, left foot. Got deflected before, could get to Escareno. Number 7, Kevin Rodriguez, he's looked good today. On the ball up top, kind of in that pivot and attacking spot a lot. And in comes Michael Forbes to be goalkeeper and 5th attacker. Although it looks like he is retreated back to goal for the moment. And now Kevin Rodriguez gets a meg, but given away. Here's Angel Brancho. Can he keep it in? No. It will be Imperial to put it back into play. Jafar Abadawi will do the honors.
5 yards, please. 5 yards from the ball. Keep going.
Poche puts it in play. Forbes in net. As that has his foot. Diagonal to the foot of Rodriguez, looking for a 1-2. Abadawi. Rodriguez couldn't release quite quick enough there. Now DaSilva, solid. I don't know if DaSilva knew, but Marroquin was sneaking towards the back post. Possibly could have cut it back to him. So we see the first action, defensive action for Michael Forbes of Imperial in goal. Now, if you've only watched this season, perhaps you think this is maybe like his particular specialty as Hernandez gets by one and not on the same page with, I think that's Mosquera. Actually, no, I think that's Brancho. Yep. You might be thinking that this is Forbes' particular specialty as Poche gets the long one from Forbes and beats Escareno with just over 90 seconds to play in the first. And he adds to the lead. I think I beat Escareno through the 5-hole, if I'm seeing that correctly. And the lead is now 3 for this Detroit Imperial side. Mena back into the game. Perhaps I'll get the opportunity to complete my thought this time on Michael Forbes. He is a great goalkeeper himself, defensively, not just on the offense. He does have good skill, has a really good shot, particularly as Marroquin has a chance there on Mena. We saw him be he's also one of those players that's been around this Imperial team and even beforehand as one of the core players for a long time. And before Emerson Mena came along, Forbes was a top keeper in the league. Definitely has great ability, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you have a player like Mena come along, even if you're very good, as he has another stop here and he's hype about it. I think a good way to think about it is Michael Forbes would probably get playing time as a goalkeeper in many other teams as Mena makes another stop, close range. He might get tried again here as a slide coming from Kevin Rodriguez. Boy, Imperial playing very aggressively on defense there and avoiding a 7th foul. As a shot comes in from Vinni DaSilva, cutting the lead to 3 just before the half. He gets his first of the night. He's able to touch it inside, split the defenders, right foot strike to the near post. And he beats Emerson Mena in goal. A needed lift, I would say, for this Chicago House team. As they pick up a foul as well. And perhaps we're not all done with first half action. 20 seconds to go. Imperial defended well and thrown to the ground. A double yellow. I think so. It looked like DePoche, and I can't quite see his number if I'm remembering correctly. That might be Nyanza who got the yellow. As you see right there on your screen, DaSilva has been very friendly to the back of the net in the last 3 games. He's got 7 goals. But in this case here, if I was understanding right, did Marroquin draw the foul? Looks like he did. That'll be number 6, so Chicago House have a chance to make it, to get another one back with a 10-meter penalty. It'll be Rafael Hernandez this time. I kind of thought, going back to the yellow card situation, it looked like Imperial was maybe going to challenge the play. I don't know. Perhaps it wasn't challengeable, or maybe that's not what they were doing. But here comes Rafael Hernandez for the second penalty from 10 meters out. And Chicago House pull within 1. From the boot of Rafael Hernandez. Inside post over the right foot of Emerson Mena. And Chicago House get their second goal off of a 6-foul penalty. Just like that, the lead is 1. Right there at the end of the whistle, Marroquin was asking for something to be said on behalf of Salah, who looked like he was kind of swinging at his legs there. And that's how half number 1 ends. A double yellow. 2 10-meter penalties scored on by Chicago House. They respond to the 4 consecutive goals with 2 of their own, and they trail by 1 here at home. We're going to go to a break, but on the other side, it's the Ally Marketing halftime show and second half action. Don't miss it. You're watching the Futsal Champion Series on FCS Live. We're ticking down to the final moments. Shoreline City trying to put something together. Aldoni Mendez, he's shielding off Hasevic's toe poke, finds the back of the net. Shoreline's up by 1 with a minute to play.
Wow, Aldoni Mendez just showing his intelligence to shield the ball, to not let Hasevic come through, and just to prevent, I mean, Hasevic is pulling at him, just to prevent any.
Ball being the rocket it is, that could cause some trouble tonight for Fabian Rodriguez in goal. And Shoreline, big time stop right off it, and the rebound buried in there. And Shoreline just continuing to lay it on thick.
Committing a crime so you can try to escape from prison. Bad idea. Go into the pod escape room to play an escape game with your friends. Great idea. Test your skill as an astronaut in outer space. Find Santa in Save Christmas. Or take a vacation to an abandoned island. Just don't get stuck there. The Pod Escape Room. Learn more at thepodlansing.com.
Tonight, the first ever FIFA Women's Futsal World Cup takes place. At Detroit, go in and they get the first of the night. Wonderful work deep into the Jenga zone. There was Detroit Imperial, and we see them with a sigh of relief after opportunity after opportunity. And who else? Depoche to Abdullah Assal.
McKenzie plays it in, gets it right back to Ramsey Terminini. Weisenhunt's across. Whoa! Hold up! Ramsey Terminini from the circle.
And just like that, Jenga is back in this match. What a shot from Terminini from deep.
My.
Unbelievable. He unleashes just power.
Placement to the upper 90 back post, and the lead is ultimately asking the question, like, was this the best match of futsal on U.S. soil? From a perspective of an entire 40 minutes of futsal, two teams that are playing really good futsal. It's back and forth, but not because it's chaotic.
The intensity just kept increasing.
Yeah.
And it started at kickoff.
Very little drop off or mistake, and they just keep playing that really good futsal. This is what it's supposed to look like right here. There's no doubt that the environment, it's a part of what makes the game what it is. But I think like this is a game that if you took all that away and you just watched the game, it would be amazing still. Like if I'm a fan of Midwest and I watch that game, and we have what I would be, in my opinion, one of the best keepers in the league. And he's not playing the second half.
And to Marco, what we saw, he gave up 6 goals. Lucario was in there for 20 minutes. First half, didn't give up any. And so, like, that's a huge disparity.
You're watching the Futsal Champion Series on FCS Live.
They're currently down 2. Here's Hindich at the near post. She slots it in. What a placement.
Yeah, fantastic
From number 9,
placement.
Medina Hindich. We take another look.
That's what,
Wow.
Ole has to be frustrated with the goalkeeping. I mean, he's going to be the best pivot in the league. Best pivot in the league. Yeah, we really hadn't even talked about him yet today. So incredible on the ball. His ability to hold up play, his ability to allow the offense to run through him, his creativity, his ability to capture the ball and spin and shoot and score. It's just really one of the best in the league. I mean, him and Trezor Crispane, I think, are the best, the most solid traditional pivots that we have in the league.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised with how we did. I feel like we did compete to the level that we could. I think you could definitely tell our lack of experience. I think some of our goals were generally just some mistakes, and I think it's a combination of nerves and just not having the experience playing at the pace that we were playing. It's really fast, and I think if we tighten that up, we could have stayed really there with them, which is cool. I think for our first game, especially going against a team like Ole, I was really proud of the way we played.
Yeah. Taking things inside towards the left. With Madison McCarthy. And they get it into the back of the net. That was Jenna Lee, number 4.
Great build-up play right here from Lansing City just to continue to work it in. Jenna Lee made a fantastic play. You want to make that pass to the back foot and really give your teammate an opportunity just to slide it home first time, but Aldama was not able to handle it.
Midwest are able to work it up. How about this back post? A pretty goal. Raul Montañez doubles the lead.
Look, Aldama could not handle the pass to put it away himself, so he said, you know what, Montañez, I'm going to give it back to you, Raul. With a little back heel flick, just roll over, give it back to him. Montañez.
You're watching the Futsal Champion Series on FCS Live.
Welcome to the Ally Marketing Halftime Show. Ally Marketing, let's be friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ally Marketing Halftime Show. I'm Jared Kleppel bringing you the action tonight. Chicago House at home, currently down by 1 by a score of 3-4. They scored 2 off of a 10-meter penalty in the last few minutes, including 1 in the last 30 seconds to make the 3-goal lead down to just 1 entering the second half. We got to cut a little bit short on our pregame show, and we had a video prepared to bring the context of this game into light. So take a look. some said they were all done. 0-5, negative 31 goal differential. But then, something changed. 2 wins in a row. Unlikely opponents. A team that was looking like one of the best in the league, and a team that's made the finals, not once, but twice in a row. How did they make this change? What drove them to this point? I think the answer is very simple, and it's been there all along. One word: hunger. And that hunger is driving them. It's brought them back from the dead. 0-5, now 2 in a row, looking for their 3rd straight win. But something's in the way. Detroit. Emerson Mena. He has over 20 saves per game. They're at 4-1, and their eyes are set at the top of the standings. A collision tonight in Chicago, Illinois. 2 teams that have never faced each other before. Never. Not once. And Chicago's not the only hungry one. Detroit Imperial, they want to be FCS champs, just like they were 2 years ago. House Imperial. See you on the floor. And on the floor, we certainly have seen them. Chicago House started the game out with a 1-goal advantage, scoring in the first 90 seconds, but then Imperial 4 straight of their own to go up 4-1. It looked like that's probably how we would head into the locker room, but with about 3 minutes or so to go, a 10-meter penalty was called for Chicago House, and Vinni DaSilva put it away, and then Rafael Hernandez got the same chance right around the 30-second mark. I think it actually might have been closer to 20, and he cut the lead down to 1, and that's where we stand. Detroit with 4 and House with 3. Second half kick is moments away. A reminder about earlier action today. Midwest United did come away with a victory in Akron by a score of 12-4 is how they took care of business out in Akron, and they go to 2-3-1 on the year. And also in FCS women's action, it was Lansing City hosting Shoreline City, and Lansing put a beating on Shoreline 12-0. So a couple of 12s in the first goals of the first 2 matches today. There is one game tomorrow, another FCS women's match. Shoreline goes back-to-back, traveling out here to Illinois. Some said they were all done. We bring you back out to the second half action, where Chicago House looks to build on the momentum that they ended the first half with. And it looks like we have a whistle early on here. Teams have switched sides, and now Chicago House on the attack, but it's stopped by Unzar. Ball goes out of play in favor of Chicago House. As you see so far this year, Chicago House win losing at the half are 1-5. They have trouble here. Coastal Wells got by 1. Wow, save after save, both by the goalkeeper and players. But it finally sneaks through. And Detroit Imperial are the first to score in the second half. A barrage of attacks, and the last try from Amin Unzar takes a couple deflections and finds the 5-hole of both Escareno and Hernandez, who is on the goal line. After a hectic moment of several saves, Escareno had some, but also his team were pitching in. in discussion at the scores table for a moment. As we now sit at 5-3 advantage Detroit with just under 19 minutes to play. So it looks like an instance of video support is being used. And a reminder to those of you at home of what that can look like. Each team gets one unsuccessful challenge per half. And in order to overturn a call, the video evidence must be clear and conclusive. So we haven't received info on whether this was initiated by a team. I'm assuming it was a challenge. And I would assume it is also initiated by Chicago House, something related to the goal perhaps. So we will await word, and what we see on the screen right now is that whatever was being reviewed has no outcome on the current state of the match. Wow, that one found the back of the net. Oh my goodness. Was that Unzar? Off the volley, caught the hand of Escareno. Originally I thought it had gone outside the goal, but that bounced in off the hand of Escareno. And Imperial with 2 quick goals. That one indeed came from Amin Unzar. The chest control volley right after the chest touch for his second goal of the match. Extending the lead back to 3. This is matches their largest lead of the game. And it didn't even take 90 seconds in the second half to get there. Vinni DaSilva takes a long one. Mena blocked it. Follow-up was not there, and Imperial now look to get out. A long diagonal. Asale, toe poke. Escareno in position at the near post. Detroit Imperial have great success when leading at the half. 10-0. Going back to when official stats started to be tracked, which was beginning of last year. They have not lost when leading at the halftime break. Perhaps one of the reasons why, or at least in this game, a reason maybe they won't lose is these 2 early goals in the second half to give them the 3-goal cushion. Definitely not enough to say game's over, we can relax, as they commit another foul. And Asale is upset. That's a yellow card issued to Rafael Hernandez. I thought I heard somebody say something about taunting. I didn't see anything. I don't know if it was directed at a player or a fan or what, but Hernandez comes up with the yellow there after the foul committed by Imperial. First one called in either direction this half. Mosquera, left foot to the back post. Just out of the reach of his teammate waiting there. And now Forbes in net will send it long, headed on. Unfortunately to DePoche. And he tries to be a little bit tricky and doesn't come up with a goal. So another opportunity for Imperial. And I believe maybe a handball whistled there against Unzar. for the second infraction against Imperial. And here is Unzar. Poche. Now Chicago House the other way. It's a 2v1. Mosquera receives the ball. Tries to get it over Mena. It's off the bar. He keeps them out of the back of the net for this half. Boy, that was close. Played out of bounds. We catch back up on a previous foul. 2 for Detroit Imperial, none for Chicago House. Looks like Imperial is not in a hurry to give heavy pressure when Chicago had the ball in their own half as Mosquera turns. Didn't miss by much. Emerson Mena coming up with a deflection. Keep Chicago at bay for the time being. Here is Rafael Hernandez. Finds DaSilva. DaSilva inside. Defended well by Asale. He wins Imperial a kick in. Long one to Unzar, headed in the direction of Asale. And Unzar still working hard. Thought he won a corner, but no, says the official. Nice touch there from Jordi Mosquera. Attempting to go in the corner. Chicago House to DaSilva, but Imperial defended well. Mine Unzar. Lots of time, low pressure against him. Silva tracks it down. Has a try to the far post, and wow, Jordi Mosquera couldn't quite get there quick enough for the tap in. Would have been some much needed life for Chicago House, as momentum has been all Detroit Imperial this half. Trying again, they get it. Was that Vinni DaSilva? No, it wasn't. Might have been Mosquera, who found a way off the post. Take another look. Just clipped it by the inside hand of Emerson Mena. Number 9, Daniel Maguione, is the one who came away with the goal for Chicago House. But they could be in trouble here. Oh, Depoche was at the far post waiting. Well, Chicago House, they've cut into this lead. It's now 2. They did it earlier today, going from 3 down to 1 down, and they hope that they are on the journey to bring this one back even over the course of the next 14 minutes. And further than that, to come out on top. Meanwhile, Detroit Imperial on the defense here in their own zone, seeking to maintain this lead and add to it when they can. Left foot strike off. Yordi Mosquera sends it. And took a deflection, so it will be a corner for Chicago House. Silva off the corner, trying to find space. Right foot blocked by Abdullah Isale. You see the cautions given out to the Chicago House players. Matt Chelinsky, Hernandez, and Mayanza on the receiving end of the yellow plastic. Sends it to Mosquera in the middle, and hit out of bounds. DaSilva will put it into play. Hernandez in to the pivot spot. Mosquera holding it up, finds DaSilva. Going across, and it is blocked before it could get to Mena or Hernandez, who's waiting on the back post. Two players to the floor there on the collision. Now it's Rafael Hernandez. Taking the ball in, right foot to the back post. Great save from Emerson Mena. Those are the kinds of chances that we have seen Rafael Hernandez take and score on in the past. As Mosquera is pulled down. And play continues. And it's Vinni DaSilva nearly had an opportunity on goal, but nearly converted. Looks like the ball was sent over by Emerson Mena. I think the ball went out of bounds there. I thought it was a keeper restart, but it's a kick in, deep in their own zone for Detroit Imperial. Chicago House win it back, but he's under a double. They maintain possession, yes. Here is Magallon. Now Mosquera. He'll win the corner for Chicago House. Not sure if you caught it, but you saw one of the Imperial players, I think it was Rodriguez, or maybe Unzar, calling for a substitution as Rafael Hernandez tries to get a 1v1. Silva now, face up by the Poche. He blocks it. All the way to Magallon. Here is DaSilva. Little ball into the middle, trying to get it back. And cleanly done, says the officials. Up the other way. Escareno comes up big. Making a huge stop there to keep Imperial at bay. And of course, Emerson Mena putting up some good numbers there as well tonight. Now Rafael Hernandez trying to cut it back. Mena's there. Up the floor goes Detroit Imperial on transition. The slide from Mosquera. Sends it out. Putting it into play is Suleiman El Mutadi. First time we said his name all night. Rodriguez steals it. Still on it. Utadi blocked. Goes back to Isale. Back to Mena he goes. Just over 10 to play here in the second half. Detroit Imperial eyeing the top of the standings, trying to improve to 5-1 with a chance here in the middle. Mascara thought he got fouled in the arc. So we go back to that save earlier by Escareno, able to poke it away with that right hand as he slid. Oh, that would nearly connected to Rodriguez. The ball from DePoche. Could have been number 7 had he got on the other side of it. And again, defense turning into offense for Imperial. Poche keeps it in. Rodriguez holds it up. Back to Unzar. Kicked out of play by Chicago House as they make a sub. Hernandez back on the floor. Mascara takes a break. Poche's open. He finishes, getting behind his defender. And the lead is again 3. Sliding to make the finish. And Josue Escareno not quick enough to send that one away from danger. And it's 7-4. The Poche completes the hat trick with that goal tonight. 3 goals and 1 assist to his name. Along with 6 shots. Really an engine for this Detroit Imperial side. As Emerson Mena is tried here. Chicago House still on the attack. Ball goes out of play. Poche to put it back in. Talking about the Poche stat line. Something that I think is very common of his plays. He has a great ball here all the way to Rodriguez, who thought he got fouled. But the Poche is one of those players that seems like whenever he has the ball, especially in the back, he seems very comfortable with it at his feet. Putting the ball where it needs to go, and Imperial, wow, Escareno able to shuffle in position just in time to prevent goal number 8. Poche turns. Forced into the corner, still trying to get by, can't quite do it. Escareno goes short. Chicago House look a little bit uncomfortable, but they're on the attack here. Toe poke, Mena keeps it out. This could be a chance for Chicago. Mena, once again. Not out of it yet. DaSilva. Ball gets taken out, and I think Emerson Mena is asking for sub or a stoppage of play. Looked like he was pointing to his head. Just needs a moment after that save. Putting it all on the line for his team as he does each and every game. One of the most committed players to the game. Had a chance to hear his story to some extent last year when he was on the third half. You see his stats for the day so far. The game of futsal took him to many places as he makes another save at the near post. What an amazing thing that one of the places it has taken him is right here in FCS, Detroit, Michigan, where this Imperial squad is from. Originally from Venezuela, I believe. He's been playing futsal for a long time. Won't give away his age, but he's definitely older than you probably think. Such an excellent talent in goal for this Imperial squad. Another try. Bouncing across goal again. Post. For Moises Mayanza. Now Imperial out of the back. Giveaway. Rare for the Detroit defense, and Hernandez is stopped by Mena. Hernandez in the corner. Can't get by Unzar, and Mena will restart. We get a first timeout of the second half. Couldn't quite see who it was called for. I think it probably would have been called by Chicago House if I had to guess. And if you've been enjoying both halves of this match, check out the third half every Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel of the Futsal Champion Series. What's the third half? It's a live podcast every week put on by the FCS Live team to talk all things FCS, what's going on, who's playing, what kind of performances have we been seeing, and also many times able to welcome special guests around the league, players and coaches alike. Check it out every Thursday, 8 p.m. The third half on FCS Live YouTube. We did hear that this timeout was called by Detroit Imperial as they take some time to talk things over. Currently with a 3-goal advantage. Definitely some padding there. But also, I would say as a player, not quite enough to be comfortable. I think you start to feel, you feel a little bit of comfort from it. But the moment it goes to 2, all of a sudden, you're not where you want to be. So just right on the edge there. Lots of time left, over 7 minutes for the scoreline to change. But Detroit Imperial, wow! Escareno got a piece of it on the backhand side. That one was surely going to be goal number 8. The possession in the attack by Imperial, and they threaten again. Escareno back at it with his 11th save of the night. Rafael Hernandez at the point. Finds Mayanza. Good defense. Still with Chicago House. Far side. Hernandez down the line. Back inside. Deflected. Wow, that one got much too close for comfort for Emerson Mena. A nice slide from him. And the chip right into his paws. Silva puts this one into play to Marroquin. Ball inside, taken away by DePoche. Still has it. High press coming from Chicago House, the long diagonal, trying to find El Mutadi. Ball will be put back into play to DePoche right at the center dot. His ball is intercepted. Ayanza. Deflected into the hands of Mena. Imperial with a chance here. Escareno blocks it. Another one blocks it. Counter opportunity. Thwarted by Ahmed Abushaban. And perhaps a rolling foul. You see coaches Ramon Hernandez and Gil DaSilva of Chicago House. And most recent whistle we heard was a accumulated foul for Chicago House in the run of play, so they'll add the first to their tally of the half. Only 3 fouls so far this half. With 4:44 to go. Emerson Mena, number 1 in saves with 119. Across. This is Imperial's 6th game. So Mena with that save lead. Certainly has the ability to have a dramatic effect on games. Is Escareno on the other side makes a big one there. I'm dwindling for the chances of Chicago House to make it 3 straight victories and keep the opportunity to stay above 500. And this is the 3rd match of the weekend so far. And this match is brought to you by Ally Marketing, the official marketing partner of the Futsal Champions Series. Check out allymarketing.us to learn more. Ally Marketing, let's be friends. Taking a moment to recap what has gone on so far. Earlier today, Midwest United went on the road facing a Innovation City team that has yet to win. And Midwest kept that going by a whopping 12-4 victory earlier today in Akron, Ohio. And in Lansing, FCS Women's were back in action. Lansing City welcomed Shoreline City. And Lansing also scored 12 goals, winning 12-0 against Shoreline. Shoreline will actually travel right here tomorrow to face the Chicago House women for the 2nd time this year. And boy, they have been looking very good. And Chicago House with an opportunity right away after putting in 5th attacker Angel Kunduri. Marroquin sends it way up. And as one of my favorite commentators in the game of FIFA would say, he wouldn't have scored if there was a goal on top of a goal. And DePoche instead, he challenged Escareno. Escareno came up big and drawing the foul for Chicago House. They tried to go quickly, but play was already stopped, and the official quieting down any objections there. And Jafar Abadawi. Imperial on the attack. Costa Wells, 1v keeper, and I think I miscalled it. Josue Escareno, of course, after the timeout, we saw Angel Kunduri come in and be more of an offensive threat, and he's the one who, I believe, made the most recent couple of saves. Keep Chicago House in the game with 3.5 to go. They have 3.5, and they need 3. Up across half comes Kunduri. Arkin tries to force one through, it won't go. And DePoche takes full advantage of the goalkeeper out of net. A 4-goal lead for DePoche and his squad from Detroit. And 4 goals for the man himself. Kunduri off the post. Follow up. Can't get it to go. Wow. Chicago House fighting with every last breath they have. They will travel to Lansing, who are 3-3, for their next match a week from today. Returning to the Lansing City Arena for the first time since the FCS National Showcase back in July of 2025, where they were finalists, losing to Ole by a comfortable margin. As there's a little bit of pushing here, and Costa Wells receives a yellow, and DePoche is wondering perhaps maybe why he was the only one who got a yellow. They're both having a chat with the official. Here comes the corner from Chilinsky, finding Marroquin. Marroquin inside, beats one, can't beat the next. Now Mutati goes back to Wells. Wells down the line. Poche has it. Finds his man, and it's just off the mark for Ahmed Abderrahmane. First we've seen of him tonight as well. Angel Kunduri, goalkeeper for Chicago House. They're specialists for when they fly. Quite a dangerous threat when he is up the floor. Great distribution here as well. Trying to find Mosquera. And Imperial take over. Silva goes down, thought he was fouled, no call. DePoche's gonna go backwards with it all the way to Mena. And the whistle blows. Either ball was out of bounds. Yeah, it must be ball out of bounds with 2:04 to go. Kunduri across half. 5 attackers for Chicago House. They will need to pull off something breathtaking. They want to get back into this game. Is there a narrow miss to the far post there? Little header from the corner by DePoche. Won't go. And up next for Detroit Imperial. If they win this one, they will be 5-1. A week from yesterday, 6 days from now, they will face Ole in Grand Rapids for a rematch of last year's semifinal. Ole have yet to lose this season. And in fact, they have not lost in FCS play since joining the league last year. Only one match has not been a victory. That was a draw, 6-6 with Midwest United in their opener in 2024. try from Chicago House, stopped by Mena at the near post. Just over 1 to go now. With this result, standing, Imperial, as mentioned, will be 5-1. The goal differential of plus 18 across their 6 games. Mena makes another save at the near post. Getting up to 19 on the night. He averages over 20 saves a game. In Chicago House, it will be 2-6. In a tough position to find the playoffs. After that, final 30 seconds, whistle against Chicago House. Down once again go Chicago House, and Forbes is intently asking for an elbow. Won't get one. And that should be 5 fouls against Detroit Imperial. But it really won't matter with 20 seconds to go and a 4-goal advantage. Imperial come to town and do what needs to be done to improve to 5 wins on the year. Take the top of the table for the time being. Of course, Ole yet to lose, but I've only played 4 games, so we'll be behind in points, but still seen as the top of the league. Final 5 seconds. 2, 1, and the timer sounds. Detroit Imperial are victorious here in Chicago, Illinois, putting an end to the turning around that we have seen from Chicago House as of late. "19 saves for Emerson Mena, with an 86% save percentage for him. 13 on the other side for Escareno. 17 shots from Vinni DaSilva tonight. He had a goal and an assist. But the standout on the stat sheet is certainly Davide Depoce. 4 goals, 1 assist on 12 tries. Kevin Rodriguez put in 2 of his own with an assist as well. And the Detroit Imperial squad accomplished their mission tonight. But here's what is very interesting for Imperial. You saw that their next one is Ole on the road. They face what you could say is a gauntlet here at the end of the season. Ole next week. A couple weeks after that, Shoreline at home. Another top of the team table. Week after that, away at Midwest United, who improved to 2-3-1 today. I think they're better than their record shows. They have some talent this year. They've had some tough games and a disappointing loss last week, as well as a tie that got away from him. And then they face Ole again. So Ole twice, Shoreline once, and Midwest once. That is what is to come for Detroit Imperial. They have put themselves in a great position to be 5-1 heading into that stretch, splitting 2 home games and 2 away games. Let's take a closer look at the stat sheet for tonight. Imperial with the advantage on the assists. More recorded shots for Chicago House. Mena coming up big. We've talked about him quite a bit. It's really hard to overemphasize his impact. He really has the ability to sway an entire match with his ability, and he did great tonight. I think this game would have been much closer without him in net. And for Chicago House, what they have coming up, only 2 more matches at 2 and 6. They'll travel to Lansing next week for a men's and women's doubleheader, and they'll face Lansing City once again. And that's a team who has looked very good at home. And then they get Innovation City for their last game of the year right here in Chicago. And with 6 losses to their name, they will need some help in order to make the playoffs from here on out. But we're not done with FCS action this week. We still got one more to go. It's tomorrow, Sunday, noon Eastern. Chicago House welcome the Shoreline City ladies right here to Chicago, Illinois on this floor. First time these two teams played, the difference was 15 goals. That is a lot of goals. Chicago House is looking very good. And Shoreline, this has been a tough year for them. They've had multiple losses by double digits or close to, and they go on the road to face a really good Chicago House team. And you got to think that they're looking for any little thing they can to improve their year, to stay competitive in the match. But it's going to be tough with the likes of Vinni Hernandez, Ximena Magana, Kenzie Rogers, who has shown herself to be possibly the best in the league, one of. And that is tomorrow at noon Eastern. You can catch it right here on FCS Live YouTube as the Shoreline women play 2 in a row today and tomorrow. That's what's to come on FCS Live. Of course, the third half will be coming at you this coming Thursday, live at 8 p.m. So make sure you don't miss that. We'll see who joins us on the show this week. But for now, it's Detroit Imperial with 15 points, 5-1 at the top of the table, plus 18 goal differential. And Chicago House down to 2 and 6 with a negative 30 goal differential. And that's how we wrap up this Saturday of futsal. I'm Jared Kleppel along with the rest of the FCS Live production team. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wow. Things are really just starting to heat up. Can't wait for what's to come. Of course, in a couple of months, we're only a couple of months away from the FCS final. So between now and then, lots of season to play. Playoff implications really starting to get into the mix, not only if you're going to make it or not, but your seeding is really important because the lower seeds will get home court advantage up until the final, which will be at the Lansing City Arena. So lots of exciting stuff coming up. So make sure you stay tuned and follow us on the social media platforms and catch all the games right here on FCS Live. That's it for tonight. I'm Jared Kleppel. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.